VGA, DVI, HDMI and DisplayPort. Still in widespread use, the VGA or Video Graphics Array connector was introduced by IBM in 1987. Early VGA connectors had 9 pins in 2 rows, although all current VGA connectors feature 15 pins in a 3-row configuration. VGA connectors carry an analog RGB video signal and are also known by a variety of other names, including D-Sub and DE15. A great many computer monitors, televisions and projectors feature a VGA connector. If your computer has one, you'll therefore be able to connect it to a very wide range of displays. VGA connectors can handle a large number of screen resolutions, typically rising from 640 by 480 up to QXGA or 2048 by 1536. Because VGA connectors use analog video, in theory image quality is reduced beyond resolutions over XGA or 1024 by 768. And yet in practice, using high-quality cables, VGA connectors are still commonly used to connect fairly high-resolution displays. The Digital Visual Interface, or DVI, was introduced by the Digital Display Working Group in 1999 to offer an improvement over VGA. Despite the name, DVI connectors may carry both digital and analog video. They can also support a maximum digital resolution of QXGA or 2048 by 1536. DVI connectors come in one of 3 configurations known as DVI-D, DVI-A or DVI-I. In addition, DVI-D and DVI-I connectors may be single-link or dual-link. To explain what all of this means, let's take a closer look at the 5 possible DVI options. Firstly, and most rarely, there are DVI-A or DVI analog-only connectors, which just have the pins for carrying analog video. Secondly, there are single-link DVI-D or DVI digital-only connectors, which have 2 blocks of digital pins but lack the 4 pins for analog transmission. Thirdly, there are single-link DVI-I or DVI integrated connectors. These add back in the analog data pins, so allowing both analog and digital signals to be transmitted. Fourthly, there are dual-link DVI-I connectors, which add in 6 extra digital pins. These carry a second copy of the red, blue and green signal components, so allowing a resolution beyond 1920 by 1080 to be transmitted without data loss. As a final variant, there are dual-link DVI-D connectors, which retain the middle pins for extra digital resolution, but which cannot carry an analog signal. For many years, almost all graphics cards with a DVI socket were of the DVI-I variety. This made it possible to use a simple adapter to connect a VGA monitor or projector. Today, however, it's becoming more common for DVI ports to be DVI-D or digital only. This needs to be kept in mind when buying a new graphics card, as a VGA adapter cannot be used with a DVI-D connector as no analog video signal is available. The High Definition Media Interface, or HDMI, was introduced by a group of 7 TV and computer manufacturers in 2002. HDMI is a digital-only connector that can carry both video and audio, as well as copy protection information and signals that allow one device to control another. The video signals carried over HDMI are identical to those used by DVI, hence allowing the use of simple adapters. While early HDMI connectors were limited to a resolution of 1920 by 1080, in 2009 HDMI version 1.4 increased this to 4K, or up to 4096 by 2160 pixels at 24p. Sometime in 2013, HDMI 2 will raise the 4K frame rate to 60p or more. HDMI connectors may be full-size, mini or micro. The full-size connectors are most common on TVs and computers, while the mini connectors are often found on camcorders, and the micro connectors have started to appear on tablets like the Kindle Fire. By the end of 2013, there are expected to be over 4 billion devices worldwide with an HDMI connector. The latest computer display connector is actually called DisplayPort and was developed by the Video Electronics Standards Association, or VESA, in 2006. Since 2008, the connector has been widely used on Apple hardware, with Apple introducing the Mini DP or MDP connector to use on many of its monitors and laptops, including the MacBook Air. In 2011, Apple and Intel announced an evolution of the Mini DisplayPort called Thunderbolt. This is backwards compatible with Mini DisplayPort and allows for the very high-speed transmission of all forms of computer data in addition to the connection of computer displays. Like HDMI version 1.4 and above, DisplayPort can be used to connect 4K displays. It can also support multiple displays on one cable, can use fiber optics or copper cable for data transmission, and, unlike HDMI, has a locking mechanism on its full-size connector. In the medium term, it's expected that DisplayPort will start to replace VGA and DVI connectors, although it's likely to complement rather than replace HDMI.